Hello everyone and welcome to our 7th monthly multi-make. Now the multi-make is a project we do in my Facebook group every month where we have a little sketch, and the idea is to stretch your papers as far as we can go and build up a stash of just everyday cards or Christmas cards. And each month I show you 2 different Knit to It kits. So this month I've made some using Super Stuey. Now, Super Stuey is a superhero kit, and that's my general one. So these are the bases of our multi-make this month, but I think I'm going to zhuzh them up a little bit towards the end, and I'll be making some Christmas ones. Now, I've got some Dear Friends already printed and cut out, so that'll be my Christmas one. Now the link to those 2 kits will be in the description below, as will the link to the Facebook group. In the Facebook group then, if you go to the file section, you will find this PDF download so you can print out with the instructions and the dimensions for you. And because the Facebook group has hit 5,000 followers or 5,000 members, this month the monthly multi-make is actually going to be sponsored by Leanne from Mad Arches. Now you might have heard me speak of Mad Arches before because I got my Mint Day papers from there and I did an album for them using those papers. So Leanne has very kindly offered a prize for this month. So an extra incentive to join in with your cards. Now, as always, you can make these with any papers or any kits you want, but I've predominantly made them to make the most out of my Knit to It kits. But for this challenge, you'll be able to use any papers you want. And more of that at the end of the video. So I'm going to just grab some papers and some card. I'm going to get going. So because I'm using my Dear Friends, I'm going to be using some craft cards this time. So the instructions are here. So I'm going to follow, make a 5x7 card blank by cutting cardstock. Being a multi-make, we are multi-making. So we're making 2 cards at a time, which is why we've got 2 bases. Now, if you print out more of the papers, of course, you can mix and match in different ways and have 4, 6, 8, whatever you want. So let's cut it at 10x7 and one more, 10x7. There we go. And then we need the scoreboard, so we can score them in half. So scoring at 5 inches. And there's 1 and 2. Now, one of the optional things I do each month, but does finish off your card nicely, is inking our edges. Now I haven't inked my Super Stuey ones because it's black cardstock, but because I've got craft, I think I'll add some to the edge. It'll just tie in the papers and everything later on. So I've got some walnut stain this time. So just walnut stain distress ink, just quickly around the edges. And I'll use this again then on my papers. So then we've got the same colour tint then on everything we've got going on in the card. So I said, if you're making your Christmas cards and you want to knock them out nice and quick, just leave this step out. But I do think it just finishes off nicely. And you don't even have to be neat. You can see I've got a big extra blob there. Now I could go in and try and start blending it out. But I didn't need to. Right, so there's my cards made, ready. So that's step 1. Make your 5x7 card blanks by cutting cardstock at 7x10 and scoring a 5. I can set them aside now. Now I'm going to choose my 2 pieces of patterned paper. And you've seen this in all my other multi-makes. What I do, I choose my 2 papers, making sure they are going to print portrait, because we've got the wording. If you've got generic papers, you don't have to worry too much about that. And then I print them that there's 2 photos. So I just use my regular photo printing, and just put 2 on a page. That way I'm saving on my ink and my paper. And this is the Ice Matte Photo Paper, and it's 190 GSM. And a lot of people have asked which paper I print on when I've got my digital ones. Oh, sorry. Let's read it. Choose 2 pieces of pattern paper and cut each to 6 3/4 by 4 3/4. So let's do the 6 3/4. By 4 3/4. So I'm going to turn it around. And then this one. Again, 4 3/4. So I've got our 2 pieces now cut. So now choose one of your papers and place the long edge on the top of your trimmer and cut at 4 inches and then 3/4 of an inch. Bear in mind, this is now a directional paper, so I want it so the top is off to the left to do my 4 inches, because that is the biggest piece. And then the last piece will be 2 inches. So rather than doing 3/4, because I got nothing to hold there, I'm actually going to do 2 inches and measure it and hold it this side. There we go, so there's one, and then repeat on the other one. Now this is non-directional, so it's not as much of an issue. There we go. And then before I carry on, I'm going to ink these edges with that walnut stain as well. Now this also, other than just hiding that white core and tying it all in, it also makes, if you haven't cut your paper perfectly straight, it will actually hide some of your sins. So here's the first one. These lovely Christmas bulbs, or Christmas lights. And I think Dear Friends was actually one of the first kits I bought. And I originally bought it many, many years ago when it was in paper form, which I don't think they do anymore. And it came with die-cut decoupage, and I remember using them in a craft class I attended. It was when I first started and I was making my first easel card, if I remember correctly. And I had the Santa and the reindeer, which I'm actually using today. There we go. So we've inked all it. So now we're going to swap the thin central pieces. So these are 2. And there's our new layouts. And now we're just going to glue onto our cardstock. And as I usually do, I open up my card so it lies flat, so I can position it before gluing. And you can see, if you hadn't cut straight, what we can do is, if you overlap or leaving a gap, that inking will actually give you a little bit of leeway. So I'm happy with how it looked. So I'm just going to put glue around the edge and a little bit across the centre. And just grab my Teflon tool. And the last one. So you can see how the card comes together pretty quickly, and I'm not using paper on top of paper. I'm really saving my paper just by swapping over pieces. So if you are multi-making, ready for Christmas, you know, we started back at the beginning of the year, and if you've been doing the multi-makes with their Christmas themes each month like I've been, you should have collection building up. So when December comes, if you need those last minute cards, just whip out one of these. The thin strip. Make sure I've got the Merry Christmas up the right way. And the last piece. I'm pretty pleased with how I cut them today. They've lined up nicely. And so that is pretty much the basis of our multi-make. That is what I'll be looking for when you share your cards with us in the Facebook group. And now it just says attach your topper and any extra embellishments. So this is where now you can go to town. So I know I've put a circle here, doesn't mean it has to be a circle. I think I'm using two circular toppers, but it doesn't have to be a circle. It can be whatever shape you want. Now, with it being the 5,000 followers challenge, I thought, let's zhuzh it up even more. And usually I show you just a really simple topper, but I want to show you how you can take it even further, and I want to see what you come up with this month. So really challenging to go. So I printed off some of these extra holly. So I'm just adding a little bit of the walnut stain. I also printed out more of the buttons from the kit. So I just resized them in Publisher, but you know, whatever you're using, you can usually find an option for changing to a particular size. So I just said resize to 1 inch by 1 inch, and then I was able to use a 1 inch circle punch to cut these rather than cutting out circles. So just add in our walnut stain. I'm not actually sure if I'm going to be using them. We're going to see later on. Okay. So as I said, usually in my multi-makes, because we're making multiples nice and quick, I usually just stick them on. But let's see if we can go to town a little bit. So I've already added some foam tape to the back of these. Now with this one, there's a lot of detail in this topper. Now, if you're looking for this one, you won't actually find it in the kit. That's because I created it using a few different elements. So I started off with the blue backing paper, just to tie in with the blues, this one, and then layered out our Santa and our deer. And then this was a photo mat. So I've just added that on, and all this was actually attached to that. Just put it on top, and because the middle was clear, you could see what was behind straight away. So let's add this onto here. And I think with this one, because we've got quite a busy background and a busy topper, I'm going to leave that one as it is. This one, I haven't foam padded it, so you could put it flat. But because it's a digital, I was able to print it twice. So just copy and pasted it onto this page. And then I just cut out this central piece, the presents and the top of Santa without his legs. So that's just lifted up a little bit. So that's going to go there. But as I said, let's add a little bit of extra. I think that's a bit too much. Let's add those buttons there. We could put him then on top and add our extra holly. Or should we add this button down the bottom? And just add the holly leaves. All right, I have got another one here. Do we like that? I'm not quite sure. Should we keep it simple? Should we keep, oh, that's the wrong button. Should we just keep it simple like that? Or do we want just a little bit of holly like so? Let's go with that then. Or maybe no buttons. What about bringing this one on top down here, or even this one could just go on top here just to tie in. We'll find out in a second. Let's glue down the buttons first. This is my first button. My second button. And my third button. So let's glue him down, but I'm not going to take the glue right to the edge. That way I can slip my holly beneath. Let's go in. And should we put this one on top? Yeah, let's go for it. There we go. And I've still got another piece. Why not? Let's just go for it and add it there. So there we have our Christmas ones. And I said, let's shush up these two. Now, to just add a little bit of tape there. This one I didn't stick down. So let's have a look. How about taking this one and adding a bit more borders? So I've got, yeah, this time black soot distressing, because I got the black background. And this is one of the borders from the Super Stuey kit. And I just resized it to 4 3/4 wide. So it's the same width as my paper. So I didn't do anything else to it. The computer then just resized it perfectly for me. So I'm just going to show what you can do. Once you've got your basic, I mean, there's nothing wrong with just sticking them down. But we're going to go to town today. because, you know, we are celebrating those followers. So let's go for it. So I'm just going to, and you know, these Knitwit kits have got so many tiny little extra elements which really finish off your project. So let's use them this time. There we go. And we've got Super Kids. I wanted to use this. It really is like a superhero city type thing. So I wanted to bring it in. So if I stick it there, it looks like it's popping out from behind that logo. So let's go for it. And then Super Kid is on foam pads. So let's just take the backing off. And we've just taken this one, that little extra level, but it's still based on this layout. So there's one more card, and now I've got this one. Now this one is from the Little Bits, and it comes as a complete thing with the frame and the insert. So I printed it twice and then took my craft knife and cut out the center and then just laid the frame on top. Just that. And I thought that would look nice because we've got the 2 half circles to match there. And then how about, got to have one of these, haven't we? So let's see, how high shall we take this? Or how, there. So let's add some glue. So where will we? Here, yes. There's nothing wrong with moving it across a little bit. Again, this one was originally just going to be one of those flat cards, but then I thought, oh, that frame looks too good not to. Lift it up. So there we have another generic card made. So there we go, there's 4 more. Oh, now I've cut these out. I think we've got a couple more things from the Dear Friends. Let's add some more. Let's add maybe these 2. I think it's too late for me to add it there. Shall I add it to the bottom? I like these borders because they had like a scalloped edge. Let's add it on. And that paper actually matched that one. It's the holly leaf one, but the colours were exactly the same. So let's add this one in. There we go. I think I'll be, oh, I could get it under. Let's get it underneath. So again, take my walnut stain. There we go. Oh, I can add more holly. Oh, that's the black soot. Let's move. No, it's not. That is the walnut stain. I'm just using the black soot. So do we need some more? Or am I going too much? Am I thinking this too much? Yeah, should I leave it, Paul? Less is more. Let's just add This time I do want that black soot. No, I don't. Oh, that was close. I still need walnut stain. We're still on the dear friends, aren't we? So just some walnut stain just to tie it in. So I've then gone for this blue border. I thought I'd lost it then. Here it is. That would have been a strange one with it just on the top. There we go. And I think that's it. I know I do have these buttons which I could go there, but I think for this one less is more there. So there we have it, our August monthly make. Oh, actually just got a sentiment. Now this is going to go here, so I've just got some foam tape behind. Let's just add Merry Days. It needed a sentiment there, didn't it? So there we go. Now we have got our cards finished. So that's the August monthly make. And as always, you'll need to join Papercrafting with Paul to get this PDF. And even more of an incentive this month to go and join the group, because not only will you get the PDF, but you can find then the album to drop the photos of yours. So just take a photo of yours, your two cards next to each other, and drop it into the monthly Multi-Make 7 album in the photo section of the group. And as I said at the beginning, I'll be choosing one random winner to win £25 voucher to spend at Mad Arches. Now, Mad Arches do sell a lot of different products, so you'll be plenty of choice there for you. They've got Stamperia, Minte, loads of things, so I don't think you have a problem spending it. So whilst you're looking at this video, have a look in the description box below. I'll add a link to the madarches.co.uk shop for you to go and have a little browse as well. So thank you for watching. This month I'm really looking forward to seeing what you make, seeing what papers you all choose. And as always, if you haven't, please click that subscribe button, especially if you're new here, so you can get notified when new videos go up. And also hit that thumbs up and drop in the comment section below maybe what papers you're hoping to use. And looking forward to seeing your cards, and I'll see you all again soon.